Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You know what time it is? Finally get to open my very first Flesh and Blood Super Slam case. I didn't even get to open the previous two sets. I don't have any, the Hunted. I do think I have a case of maybe High Seas from Return to Sender, so I may try to do an opening on that in the future. So today we are going to crack a case, and man, do we got a lot of shenanigans to talk about today, everybody. There's been quite the interesting conversation. Today, my patron, Mark, all the way in Dallas, Texas. These cards and these boxes are for you, big guy. Good luck. And first, more than anything, let's check out the box. Definitely a very different wrestling ultimate pit fight kind of vibe. Am I right, everybody? Definitely has definitely a lot more colors, very bright and colorful compared to the Hunted. It's got definitely a very different feel to it, even though the Hunted and this set the design seems very, very different, everybody. So that's what she looks like. Get in the ring with sealed decks and booster draft formats. Fab TC. Okay, so let's give it a shot here. We are paper packs. Okay, so we're still going with this route. So there's a lot of things to kind of address and go over. First, I just want to see the cards. I just want to kind of check out what's going on here. Oh, the Mythics in the front? Wait, the Rares in the back? What's the order of this? Why would they have Mythics in the front of the pack? Really? Mythic in the front? That's kind of... What I keep saying Mystic. Oh my god, Majestic. Majestic in the front. Well, I definitely recognize that as a reprint. That's our first Majestic of the box, but in the front of the pack? Maybe the order's different? I will definitely check the order. Empowering Ruckus. I just want to... Give me a little bit, everybody. I'm going to look at I haven't gotten to look at these things. Beautiful. Darling in the Crowd. Just going to kind of take in some of these colors and some of these art styles. Brutes. We've got some Guardian action. More Brutes. Why is there a Majestic in the front? Prime the Crowd. I am recognizing some reprints in here. We got leather boots there. There's our nice little shiny rainbow foil. It is in the middle still. And then we have Rare and Rare Uplifting Performance. That is some crazy muscles. I wish I looked like that. Huh. Okay. And that was a strange pack layout. That really kind of definitely threw me off guard, everybody. I did not expect a pack layout. Okay, so maybe they put the ancillary, like the bonus one in the front this time? Is that kind of how they did it? Wow, the colors on these things. Like the borders and the frames and the colors on these things. Boy, there's a lot of I don't recognize and going on here. Still reminds me of Mortal Kombat Street Fighter with the words and everything. The suspense is killing me. That's that's an interesting looking piece of art, everybody. Rough it up there. Shoot your mouth off. Very cool, right behind you. And of course we got some gear. We got our little common there, Tension in the Air. And we have our second Majestic there, the old bully tactics. When this attacks a hero, pay up to 3, intimidate them that many times. So I've been hearing a lot of chatter regarding the Majestics, the quantity of Majestics, and apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently they brought back another rarity. Why is this? Oh, that's a split card. Apparently they brought back the super rare slot in Super Slam. Whoa, that is cool looking art. Dang. I mean, I don't know. I think some of the negativity on the art seemed to be a little overdone. I'm not seeing a lot of issues. So far, the theme and the art, it kind of shoots your mouth off. And then, of course, okay, there it is. There it is. That is our first. Yeah, they did. That is an S. They brought back super rare. I guess I don't know what the story is here, but if anybody wants to comment below, what's the story with the super rares? Does anybody know? Is it to allow more access to some cards to be printed more? Is there a story behind this? Does anybody have information? Heroic pose. Bask in your own greatness. Cheers! Take that. Expected bad. A lot of brutes. A lot of Guardian. Seeing a lot of brute hand to hand. What is that? That is an interesting piece of art. Okay. Garland of Spring. And just a comment again there. And whoa, look at that. A very Roman Greek statue disperse. Rigorous War. So remember, folks, in Flesh and Blood, essentially the rares, the packs look really neat. I like the coloring and the look of the actual packs. Boy, really, really cool there. So remember, the rares in this are kind of uncommons, I guess you could say. I think that's what throws a lot of people off. I think a lot of people are kind of, because there's commons in this thing, and then technically, in my opinion, there's our first foil rare. The rares are kind of uncommons, in my opinion, in Flesh and Blood. The super rares, it's weird seeing that. It has to be, the reason they brought that slot back is so certain particular cards like this, they would want to be more accessible and they'd be more in the printing versus the Majestic slot. That has to be the theory here. There has to be rationale, because I thought the original thing was, I was told the company wanted to get rid of the super rare slots because to just consolidate the printing process, the slots, and everything like that. Now, after so long, I mean, this is the first time they've had super rare slots. Is that just for this set, or is that going to be moving forward? I have no idea. I have no clue if this is a permanent thing or not. Because, I mean, I haven't seen super rare since what? Arcane, what, 5 years ago almost? That's a very strange thing there. There has to be story to it. And I feel like it has to do something, and I could be terribly wrong. But if I had to take a stab in the dark, everybody, Ton the Crowd Hateful. See, that looks pretty neat. Another super rare, see. But hold on a second, though. But if they're super rare with these, Disturb the Peace there, another Brute card, does that make the Majestic pull rate even more difficult? Does that make some of these even more rare now? Is that going to inflate certain Majestic prices because now you're removing more of the slots? I'm not really sure about that. There's a lot of way to view that. There's a lot of ways to kind of try to guess that. Pose. All right, here we go, everybody. Another super rare and a regular. So yeah, we are not getting... So our Majestic pull rate feels significantly lower than the past. I mean, we are already... This is our 4th super rare in half a box. Beat the Same Drum. If you control an agility token this turn, create an agility token. Then repeat for confidence. Might, toughness, and go again. See, I feel like these are the more playable slots. And I noticed too, like the generic, I feel like that they want those to be... I don't know. I'm speculating. I genuinely don't know, everybody. I am very confused on the... I'm sure there's an article, and I'm sure LSS released a reason or a statement on why that is. I'm not familiar with it. Familiar Stench. And of course, another Disperse there, and the old leather. But dang. I mean, because I know a patron told me there's like 40 to 50 Majestics and like 40 to 50 super rares. So if there's 40 super rares in the pool and there's like 40 Majestics, oh my goodness. That's what... Oh, okay, hold on a second. So that happened again. So the first card in the slot on top of the pack, which is not the greatest position for a more expensive card, instead of the tokens or the split cards, I guess sometimes you can get an ancillary rare or ancillary Majestic here, because we got a little mech support card. That is, actually, you know what? I think 2 of our 3 Majestics came from the ancillary slot. Toby Jugs. Look at the boots and the beer. That's kind of funny. Punch above your weight. And here we go again. Shining Courage, and we have Truth or Trickery. That's a neat... Look at the framework on that bad boy. Was it Revealed? Guardian block. I have not seen that framework in that style. When it defends, you may look at the top card of your deck and choose a color. If you do, the attacking hero guesses if that card is chosen color. Then they look at it. If they guess wrong, they just... Okay. Little dice throw gambling style mechanic there. So... We've only pulled 3 Majestics in this box, and 2 of the 3 were in the front of the pack as ancillary? Okay, wait, there's another one. Gallo, end of the line. Little high seas looking support here. Little necro action. So, dang. Are we just not having a good box, maybe? Huh. I'm not really sure what to think so far, Mark. This is definitely, like, the difficulty rating feels higher. Steel Victory, another... I'm like, dang. So we've only pulled 1 Majestic from the normal slot in the pack. The other 3 are from the front in the ancillary, from what I'm gathering right now. But if there's a pool of like 40, so sometimes you get the regular split token here, and then sometimes you get that bonus Majestic, but I'm starting to think it may not be a bonus Majestic. That might be a source of most of the Majestics, right? I don't know. High-pitched hell. And of course, we got our rare and rare comeback kid and the story beat. And see, like on art like this, I think this is what people were talking about. Because like the color palette and the type of muscles, and it almost has more of a cartoon animated vibe compared to some of the other pieces of art. It's not, I don't think it's bad looking, but it definitely looks different. And I think that's what some people were referring to. I actually don't think the art looks bad. I mean, but I have to admit, I think that looks a lot better. Like that Necro art from like a High Seas, kind of like that looks really, so I mean, I see kind of some of the chatter here. I'm going to pick up a little speed. I'm just kind of taking this in because, again, I don't get to do all these box openings, and I like to enjoy them with you all. I don't really, I miss doing box openings all the time, man. All right, so we got Will of the Crowd. That's our foil rare again. So here we go. We got a great pull. We got a good hit here, everybody. So here we go. Overcrowded. So only our 5th Majestic in the box. Only the 2nd Majestic in the normal slot. Overcrowded, huh? Ambush. Well, it's in your arsenal. You may defend with it. We'll defend too. It is generic. Every time is generic becoming like a tainted thing. Every time I see generic, I hear everybody on the internet. When this attacks or defends, gets +1 attack and defend for each different name among aura tokens in the arena. That's an interesting card. So I'm not quoting prices or anything, but I'm going to take a guess. The fact that you does this and you can pump extra attack and defense based on a couple different tokens, and it's generic and go in any deck, like that's the kind of stuff I feel like that. Those are like the powerhouse type of playable cards that I think, and in being generic, the demand's going to be a lot higher because people are going to try to put it in a lot more decks, right? Who's the tough guy? So actually, wait, you know what? We still don't even have any foil. We don't have any. Wait, we still have no foil Majestics in the whole box. Wow. So, Mark, I don't know if we're starting off with a weaker, but whoa. Okay, Adaptive Alpha Mold here. Okay, so we do have another Majestic in the front here. Let's take a look in a second. Let's get these commons out of the way. I'll put that off to the side real quick. We got our gear. We got our little foily common there. And of course, down here, we got the old Scowl and Asking for Trouble. So this looks like an interesting gear. We got something new here. The Adaptive Alpha Mold. So this is a mechanologist little base. Is there, wait, base. Do we have another slot for, wait, hold on. Modular. I don't even know what this is. Could maybe be played in any, whoa. Okay. This can be used in any equipment slot, and then the action, there's no actual resource to activate it. Equipped to another equipment zone, you can move it around. Well, that's wonky. But what else does it do? Battle war, when I chain closes, defend. Okay, it gets -1. Okay, yeah. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of equipment. The bobble. Does the bobble have more cracks, or is this just an ongoing meme that never dies? I'm assuming it's just a meme that never dies at this point. Has there ever been any story or any lore after 5 years about the bobble, or is that just the thing now? I feel like it's just like an old meme at this point. What we got here? The Bluster Buff. That is a colorful little animal there. And another super rare, 2 steps ahead. Revered, revealed. God, okay. God, a lot of super rares. Oh my goodness. I guess I'd be curious, are another Majestic? Wow, so all our Majestics are in the front slot? Okay, the Beat of the Iron Song, Majestic. There's a nice little warrior. Wow. Now, see, I like that. I think it's beautiful art. With the birds and the color in there. Again, still no actual, no rainbow foil, cold foil, anything. Dang, wait. And again, another super rare. Who blinks first? So that's our first super rare in rainbow foil. That's the first one we've gotten in the entire box so far. Wow. So this set definitely already feels different to me. I thought this was going to be, I was calling this like Heavy Hitters 2.0. That was kind of my vibe going into this. All right, Reckless Stampede. Look at this bad boy. We've got another brute little action here. Every time the Majestics will get my attention because I know that's where all the power is. Whenever a card defends this, clash with defending hero. The winner deals 1 damage to the other hero. Each hero may put the revealed card on the bottom of its owner's deck. I am not familiar with the clash mechanic, so I can't even comment much on that. It does not feel like heavy hitters. I thought for sure this was going to be a heavy hitters type of WTR type of vibe. Cheers. And of course, we have another. Okay, so we're getting quite a bit of Majestics all of a sudden. Maybe we just start off kind of awkward. No tall tales. All right. If the attack on this is greater than its base, it gets +1. Tower. I don't know what tower is. If this is 13 or more, it gets, when this hits a hero, cards they own lose and can't go again until their next act. Whoa. 13 or more? Yeah, I guess you got to build a big old tower to hit that. You got to swing for 13. Wow, you got to combo up to get that. Okay, well that's interesting. So far, I have not seen unless maybe I missed an extended art or something. Okay, number 2, there is our super rare Steel Victory. See, I think that's really cool looking though. Steel Victory, that is our second of the, and there's another super rare. Wow, a lot of super rares. Oh my goodness. And we are at 0 cold foils or Majestics or anything. Or I'm sorry, foil Majestics above that rarity though. Beautiful, Cruel Ambition. That looks pretty neat. That is a common there. Ooh, what is this? Disembody. Dude, that is wild looking. When it attacks, you even cheered this turn. God, the new mechanics. Holy cow, old man Rudy. Whew. All right, I know I'm slow rolling. This is my first time, so you guys gotta bear with me. It's the first time I got to experience this. That's an interesting little bait, bait token there. Definitely looks a little interesting. I like to enjoy my first one. I will speed up after this, I promise. They got the old Numbskull Charm, so I guess they got a bunch. Okay, that looks like Shrek. Does that not look like Shrek to everybody? That looks like Shrek. And of course, Comeback Kid again. So this is the end of box 1? Is this... Oh, okay, finally! Okay, I don't know how I feel about a foil Majestic just sitting on top of the pack for great ability in corners and everything. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It doesn't seem very wise. Finally, 1 foil Majestic. Beat the Iron Storm. Beautiful looking card. Holy smokes, that is the rarest card we've pulled in the entire box right now. Coming in hot, everybody. Act of Glory with the common. And of course, we have ourselves a rare. And what is this? Time flies when you're having fun. That is a super rare. Okay, and it's generic, so you know it's got my attention already. The next time an attack action card hits hero, you may destroy an aura they control. If this was played from Arsenal, the next attack also gets a +3 little pop and go again. See, I feel like that's a very playable card, and that's coming from a guy who doesn't even get to play card games anymore. Like, there's just certain things that just make me go, And, okay. The very top card of the pack is a cold foil. So the last pack in box 1, we actually did get a cold foil. Overbearing Presence, cold foil common on top of the pack. Okay. I don't know if this is intentional or accidental, but that's definitely interesting placement for a cold foil. Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's a cold foil common, but I guess I didn't think we were getting a cold foil at all in the box opening. Dang, man. All right, here we go. Ooh, Fight Dirty. See, that almost looks like a comic book. Like with the lines and like the animated faces, the very exaggerated faces in the mouth and everything. That foil, that literally almost looks like a comic book style art. And there's this other one, non-foil. So that's the end of box 1. It feels more difficult. It feels like the pull rates almost feel more, I guess you guys better hope that the cards you want are in the super rare slot. Am I right? So, but hold on though. In this box, we did get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we did hit 9 Majestics plus a rainbow foil. So hold on a second. So technically, for the record, that is technically 10 Majestics. And if there's 50 Majestics, that's like 20% of all the Majestic. Well, there you go again, pack 1. Well, let's track that. Let me see box 2. 1 Majestic, here we go. So technically, the pull rate of Majestics, if one box gives you 10 out of 50, okay, pack 1 here, Renounced Violence. That's neat looking. Beautiful looking art on that sky and everything. Very watercolor, neat looking. That's actually a super rare one right out of the gate there. Huh, okay. I don't know. If there's a pool of 50, in a normal box you get 10 out of 50. That doesn't seem bad, though. That doesn't seem that bad at all. Here we go. Buck Wild, the Mocking, and the Comeback Kid. Because, I mean, that means, I guess if you open a single case, I mean, you're going to get, well, I don't know. But if you need a playset, I guess if you do need a playset of a certain Majestic, in one case, you may get one or two. Whoa! Whoa! Wait a minute, New Horizon. I remember that cold foil. Wow, that's not cold foil. Wait a minute. Did they reprint? So wait, I'm super confused. So they reprinted New Horizon. Wow, that is beautiful. Holy smokes. Well, we got a legendary, Mark, and it is a gorgeous New Horizon. Look at that full extent. That is an extended art legendary New Horizon. I'm a little confused, though. Can you get this in cold foil? Are there two? Cool. I don't know what's going on with that. Wow, that seems like a really good hit. That's probably the hit of the case right now, would be my opinion. We got No Tall Tales. Majestic number 2. Well, no, I'm sorry. Majestic number 2. That's right, Majestic. Dang, this is a definite. Boy, I have not opened a lot of boxes in a while, and this is definitely a learning curve, everybody. Boy, it feels challenging, which I don't know if that's good or bad, because the type of people who are demanding that LSS make the playable cards easier to get. Strongest Survive. Nothing in that pack, everyone. Dang. Okay. And what do we got here? Golden Gallia, huh? So this is a Majestic, nice little helm there. I thought it was generic at first. No, it's Warrior. Olympia, it's a specialization. It's Warrior. Temper. What's Temper? Combat chain closes, is defended, put -1, then it has 0. Destroy it. Okay. So that is a Majestic, but that's actually none. There's no foiling at all to that. One of the first things I'm going to check after this video, everybody, that I'm really, really curious about, is I'm actually going to see, can you get New Horizon in a cold foil like the other New Horizon cold foil? Or did they change the art on that? Or is it only available in Rainbow? Like, I have no idea how that works, everybody. We got the Dramatic Pause, and of course, Steel Victory and the Blow. And I'm assuming they're still... Okay, so front of the packet, Channel the Tranquil Domain. This is like a Tales of Aria type little Earth aura. I can tell with the framework. It is non-foil again. It feels like there's a lot more of the ancillary, like cards in the front. Are those part of the main set? Okay. Buck Wild. Tough Nut. I'm sorry. Shrek with a Tough Nut. You got me. Shrek with a Tough Nut is, that's got to be a meme. That has to be some sort of meme, you guys. There's no way that wasn't designed as a joke meme. I mean, come on. Shrek and it's got Tough Nut again. Okay, there's that overcrowded generic Majestic again. And I think that's, like, there's no way a generic Majestic like that is going to be a couple dollars. That's got to be a more expensive one. That has to be at least $5, $10. And I know, comment section, watch it blow up and be like a $20, $30, $40 Majestic, and that's when everyone's going to be like, see, that's the problem, blah, blah, blah. It's too expensive. Everything's expensive. Comment there. And of course, the old time flies again. Man, I feel like we're focused a lot on super rares and not Majestics, though. Boy, that super rare slot changes the field very drastically. That really, really shifts the dynamic. Like the pull rates and everything, it feels so much different because so many cards hit that other slot. We got Booze. Like it just makes it feel. But again, the first box, we still did get 10. There's New Horizon again. So back-to-back legendary New Horizon? So that is Rainbow Foil Extended Art. That seems like the King Dingaling. And this is the wow, look at the difference in quality. So there's a fancy schmancy King Dingaling, and there's your normal. So in this one, in one box, Mark, we had 2 New Horizons. 2 legendary New Horizons. Oh, okay. And literally both variants. And of course, we have ourselves the No Tall Tale. So there's our, I guess, our only foil Majestic. I guess you only get one per box, because we're about halfway through the video now. And it does look like we are going to be getting one per box, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that's intentional or accidental. What is this? Up on a pedestal. That is a little, she's a little feisty looking thing here. A little Guardian Instant here. Suspense. Enters the arena with 2 suspense counters on the target of your turn. Remove a counter. And of course, when there's none, destroy it. When it enters or leaves, you may put a Guardian attack action card from your grave. Okay. So you get to use it a couple times before it kind of destroys itself, per se, I guess. I'd be very curious to see, after this product officially releases, and we go a week or two. Beautiful. Oh, that turning point's neat. That's cool looking. Look at that. Swinging the weapon against that big old brute demon. That's pretty cool looking. I think that's a neat looking super rare. I'd be very curious to see how the single card prices and how everything stabilizes. Really makes me wonder how this is going to kind of unfold, everybody. Because this is an interesting dynamic. It's been so long since I've seen another rarity added in the middle like that. Is that I don't know if that's supposed to help or hurt the whole situation. Like, I feel like it makes Majestics even more expensive, but at the same time, it makes some of the playable cards, maybe that some people have been demanding, easier because they're going to put it in that slot. We got Bully Tactics over here. Okay. So when it's reveled or revealed, is that still the same as generic, or does that require a specific hero type? That I am not, that I am not 100% on. I don't recall seeing that, that's why. Okay, catch of the day. So we got some pirate little support over here on the front. That is in the front area, not related to the set, I guess. Power Play. Reminds me of the old Dorinthia. That's what that reminds me of. And Reckless again, and regular. I have a funny feeling some of these Majestics. There's another one, Mage Hunter Arrow. Now I know that. I recognize that art. I recognize that framework too. That is Ranger support. Okay. I have a funny feeling some of these Majestics are going to be insanely expensive. That's my vibe right now, because we are 2 boxes into this. Well, we've got literally, here's the end of box 2. We're 2 boxes in, and we haven't even seen half the Majestics in the set. Not to mention getting duplicates of anything or getting playable copies. This is going to be quite interesting to see how this unfolds. So what do we got here? Turning Point, that's the regular one, and Fight Fair. The art, I think, I don't know. I'm starting to think some of the drama around the art was just not... I mean, I can see some of the difference on there, but I don't know if it's that drastic. It definitely has a different feel, but it could be tied to the theme of the set. Because it's kind of a wrestling hand-to-hand combat kind of theme. I'm not sure about that. Sadistic Scowl for the rare. Of course, another super rare. What is that? And a Spew Upset. There's some interesting art in this set. That says the least, man. Alright, so that's in the end. This is officially halfway through. That is box 2, ladies and gentlemen, on the old Super Slam. Definitely not what I expected. Definitely very different, and I'm wondering if that difference is why a lot of people are being very, I don't want to say upset, but agitated maybe, or it's not what they expected. So by the way, before we get into it, I just want to count. I'm going to count real quick, including ancillary. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 9. And by the way, I do notice, being in the front of the packs, a lot of these Majestics do have chips and dings because they're on the front of the pack there. So again, 9 plus the 1 rainbow foil. We ended with exactly 10 Majestics, even on the second box opening. So now, if this pattern continues, did they track print and make sure it's exactly 10 per box? Is it literally designed to be an exact number? Now the difference is, on box 2, we did hit a double legendary with New Horizon, which seems, I don't know what the value is. Again, the single card prices are still in pre-order territory, so I'm very skeptical on quoting numbers on prices of anything this early on because, well, nothing's going to stay the same. And the prices are going to swing so much not really a point in quoting anything. Wind up the crowd. That is a super rare. There's our first majestic there. What do we got here? I don't remember seeing that. Cries of Encore. Dude, that's a cool looking piece of art there. When this attacks a hero, if you have less life than then, the crowd cheers you. If you've been cheered this turn, this gets when this hits a hero, you may play an aura of suspense from your graveyard. Whoa! That's a swing for 7. What's the... Dang. Wow, I just realized, holy crap, that's a 7. Huh. That seems kind of potent. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see what is this now? Light up the leaves. That is beautiful. Look at her. That's a cool looking card. Little Tales of Aria style, little earth, little wizard framework there. Whoa, deals 6 arcane damage to any target. Instant, discard this card and earth card, prevent the next 6 arcane damage to target source to be dealt. Okay, so it's got a little discard, little instant speed, little protection preventative, huh? And it can swing for 6? Wow. That's not going to be a bowl card. There's just, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to playability and certain gameplay and the mechanics, but there's certain things that I see big number and I see certain really? Wow. That's another Beat the Iron Song. That's our foil majestic, the exact same foil majestic again. Okay, and there's our accrual. And of course, we got the turn heads for the super rare. That's cool. Let's see. Some of it though, I get it's got more of an animated comic book style, but that looks pretty cool, man. Like some of it, I think it's not as bad as some people are making it out to be online in some of the message boards and drama. But at the same time, I can't say that the people who are unhappy with the direction, I can't say that they don't have a point, because they do have a valid point that we don't know if this is a change or... again, some of the art, it is more animated-y vibe from the color palette and everything, but it still looks pretty good, man. Like some of these things, I don't share the vibe that the art is just trash in this set. I'm not on board with that whole thing. I think that's just being a little, exaggerated hyperbole and just dramatic for the internet clicks and views. I'm not seeing it, man. I'm not seeing it. Come back, kid. Coming in hot again. And of course, another super rare and rare. I don't think it's that bad. I think people are being a little... Although, when it comes to the actual set and the distribution, the super rare and everything, it is very different. That is a fact. The super rare thing changes the whole... Another bobble. This really changes the feel and vibe of the set. And I'm not sure if this is a future thing or if this is just going to be a one-time set thing. I have no idea. I was in the impression that super rare slot was removed to streamline the process and keep things more simplified and blah, blah, blah. And there was just too many rarities. It wasn't necessary. That's what... Whoa, what is that? Hunter or hunted? With a nice paragraph mechanic. The art. Dude, look at that assassin and hunter there. What is this? Defense reaction. When it defends, name a card. The attacking hero reveals the top part of their deck. If it's a named card, banish it. Search it everywhere. Wow. For the 3 cards that say banish all. Wow. Wait a minute. Isn't that like Magic, the Jester's Cap? Name a card, banish all. Like you go through the library, remove the card. Contract, well, this is defending that you're contracted to banish opponent's cards with the opposing name. Huh. Now there's another card that's anything like that. I'm telling you. Cards like these 3. So this box right here. These 3 Majestics right here. I can already tell you in box 3. There's no way that these are bulk Majestics. There's no way after release that those are going to be cheap. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. What do we got here? No hero stands alone. Ooh, look at the framework on that. Look at the framework on that. Okay, hold on, I gotta read that one. Well, this is in any zone. If you've controlled a toughness token, it gets +3 defense and ambush. When this defends, clash with the tank. Dang, I gotta read up on the new mechanics. There's certain... I'm not familiar with some of these new mechanics in the last few sets, man. Dude, another bobble. Yeah, so again, as Flesh and Blood has always been, the quality of your box is going to come down to the Majestic pools you get. Like this box 3 already feels better than box 1 and 2. Well, besides the New Horizon pools, of course. that kind of makes it feel super crazy powerful. But we're halfway through box 3 now. I know it's a long video, but this is my first time doing this, so kind of want to enjoy it with you all. I will do a couple of future box openings of this a little quicker, but I want to at least look at the cards and read the mechanics. I like to, first time in with these things, I like to check all this stuff out, man. It's interesting how you can learn a lot when you just do a box opening. And then on like a video like this, I'll check the comments section just to kind of see what people think of the set, kind of the vibe. And it's interesting to kind of get a feel that you really can't duplicate. Like, see, now that pack had a double super rare. It had a regular. And the cut the small talk was actually a rainbow foil. But it definitely, the cold foils and the other chase cards feel a lot more difficult to pull. I don't know if that's a recent thing or if that's just the luck of this. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Hold on. Let me put it down for a second. Whoa! Okay. There's another overcrowded. There's another one. That's our third overcrowded. Like, look, there's like 30 Majestics we've never even seen. And this is our third copy in this. And what on earth is this? Is a common? This is a common? A common full art cold foil to be continued. So the first time you be dealt damage each turn, prevent one of that damage. Okay. That is really cool looking card though. Centering is pretty off, but you know, it is what it is. All right, that was interesting, Mark. Oh, Felling of the Crown. Wait a minute. This is another reprint? Felling of the Crown. Is that not a reprint or is that a reprint? Earth Action, 4 more Earth counters. I swear I've seen that card before. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm losing my mind, everybody. All right. See, right now, I already feel like box 3 is the best box we've had. Like, this box opening feels better than the first 2 box openings. Besides, obviously, last box, we had 2 legendaries back-to-back. So as we wrap up box 3, everyone, I don't know if we can even get another legendary because we've already had 2 in the same box. I don't know if that means we've already exhausted even the potential for us to do it. I'm not really sure. All right, so I guess as we get to the end here, I guess let's talk about some other things. Backspin Thrust. I have not seen this Majestic. Once per turn, instant. I don't know what that is. Resource? A cog you control gets 1/0. Another mech. I'm not sure if that's a good card or not. I don't know what kind of shenanigans you mech people out there are into, because some of you guys come up with some crazy combos with things. Let me tell you that. Anyways, but as we get into this video here, I do want to talk about the overall state of the sealed product and the market and everything like that. If you're watching this video, I've already sold by Super Slam, Flesh and Blood and everything. My position is pretty much gone. Obviously, I got a couple cases here, some reserve to do an opening this time, thankfully. And besides that, though, I am going to try to see if I can get a little bit more product from either, a distributor or other stores or anything like that. Liar's Charm. I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit more. I do have patrons asking to see if I can have a couple more cases or another sale on it. Right now, there's no plans for another sale, but I am trying to get more. I'm going to at least put an effort into it. I do know with all the turbulence going on with Magic and Pokemon and everything, especially the Spider-Man, there's going to be some opportunity where stores are going to need to liquidate, get some things off the books, and raise capital. So that might give me some opportunity to move in and get some more, actually, these Flesh and Blood cases or some more Spider-Man things and different products. There's going to be, I do think this time around with what's happening in the turbulence, I think there's going to be some real opportunity to actually finally, maybe actually do an additional sale or get more product to actually hold and offer you guys. So I'm going to put an effort into it. I can't promise that I will be successful in that, but I will try. So as we move to the end of this video, everybody, by the way, before we do, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's not exactly 10. So box 1 and 2, 10 Majestics in box 1, 10 Majestics in box 2. Box 3, 7 and 1 foil, so 8. So 10, 10, and 8. So box 3 had what I felt the best Majestic pulls that we've had, but it also feels like we received the least amount. I'm sure, most likely, that is just coincidental, What do we got here? What is this? I have not seen you. Look at this, 4th box. I've never even seen this majestic. Good-natured brutality. Obviously, brute card. Holy molies. You have no cards in hand. Okay, okay. That's crazy. Huh, okay. Anyways, moving forward, everybody. Super rare. Okay, and then regular. That good-natured brutality. That seems like another, like there's, let's say there's so many good actual majestics in this stuff. And I don't know if the super rares are going to be the same as that. That's all I'm saying. You guys are, I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. It's too soon to tell. I'm not going to speculate on single cards. I don't do that with new Magic. I don't do it with Pokemon. And there we go again. So we did get a 3rd legendary. Gauntlets over here. Rainbow Gauntlets. We did get a 3rd legendary. Okay. There, okie dokie. I did. And what, really? A 4th overcrowded. A 4th. Wow. All right. All right. 4 overcrowded. I hope that's a good majestic because we've got a whole play set of them, man. Wow. This has been an interesting 40-minute box opening adventure, everybody. I'll be curious to see what everybody thinks. My immediate initial instinct on the whole thing is I think the set's going to do just fine, but it definitely does not seem as, it does not seem as hyped and people don't seem as excited with this set. There's another one. There's another good-natured brutality. Look at that. We don't get any of them in boxes, and all of a sudden we get back-to-back like that. Isn't that crazy? Like I said, I don't see the overly dramatic excitement with this set that I saw with High Seas and the Hunted, where people were just, whoa. Harsh Terrain. Draconic. I recognize that frame. I have not seen that particular one. Golly, the pool of Majestics is so wide. The variance on the pulls, my goodness. You'd have to open a lot of sealed boxes to be able to get all this stuff. Holy molies. I mean, we are nowhere near a master set on opening this case, everybody. Holy molies. I mean, wow. You'd probably have to open, it depends if you have good or bad luck, but you're going to have to open cases of this stuff if you're going to try to get some of these things, or if you want play sets of certain Majestics. But this is why, so again, if you're a store and you get, okay. Our only Marvel. That is our only Marvel. One Marvel. The Golden Gauntlets in the close, Mark. I feel like that's the patron, like, oh, I made it. Wow. That's pretty spicy. So we did get some pretty spicy stuff, though. Even in the close here, there's a nice little foil. There's our foil Majestic there, Stampede, by the way. That's probably our one for the case there. We hit some pretty good stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is, like, I feel like the Majestic thing is really where the gambling is in cracking Flesh and Blood. But, man, we got 3 legendaries. There's another Hunter Hunted. That's a cool card. That's a cool card, man. That's a cool card, man. Whoa, the old switcheroo. That's a neat looking super rare. Okay. And there's a second super rare. Okay. Well, everybody, we are getting towards the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey here. And as we wrap things up, the last couple packs. It's been fun. It's been adventurous. We will do 1 or 2 more of these bad boys just to kind of see what the difference is. And I'm very curious. We're going to spread it out. We won't do another one we'll wait a little bit just for the market to go past pre-release and everything. I want to see what the single card price is and what ends up being the hot thing in the meta. What becomes the crazy organized play hot cards. I mean, wow, really? Light up the leaves. That's a nice little one there. I'm really curious to see how things really stabilize after release there. There's another Bully the Tactics. And I have a funny feeling we're going to see some weird... take the bait. What is that? The little Ranger. Look at this bad boy. Rips. Okay. I think we're going to see some very strange things happen with some of the singles and some of the prices that I don't think we're going to be ready for, we're going to expect. I think we're going to just be really surprised by that. That's kind of my attitude right now. Everybody's speculating. Everybody's trying to predict what's what. And, you know, it's too tough to tell. And with Flesh and Blood, the sealed product and everything, you know, if you have sealed products and you're worried about anything, I'm like, Flesh and Blood is by far the #1 product. If you're going to open these and sell singles, it's if you want to be in the secondary market with Flesh and Blood products and single cards, it is incredible because everybody just buys Majestics and singles. And I don't know, I guess everyone's going to start buying super rares because historically commons and rares don't sell that great, but it's more almost in the bulk category. Usually all the money changing hands is obviously Majestics and of course, you know, Marvels and Legendaries and blah, blah, and extended R's. But most of it's Majestics. That is the majority of the money flowing around. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. So again, thanks for watching, Mark. Hope you enjoyed the opening. We're going to let it be as we go to the release in the next few days, and let's see how the market calibrates, and let's see what happens, because it definitely feels like a different flavor. It does not feel the same as like the Hunted or High Seas or Rosetta or even Misty. It definitely has a different feel to it. And I don't know if that's because it's super rare or that's just because the internet told me it was different. I'm not sure if it's cause and effect, but we'll see. I still don't think it felt bad. I don't understand some of the negativity towards it. I do not, so far from what I see, does not feel like a bad product. I mean, you know, oh, Rudy, it's the next Bright Lights 2.0. I'm sorry, I don't think this product's going to crash and burn. I don't think it's a bad product. I'm not on board with that negativity. I don't see a problem at all. So, have a beautiful day, everybody.